soldiers of the world unite. It's time to roar, to fight the fight against the puppet masters pulling strings. We'll strip away their power, hear our piercing screams. We won't be silenced anymore. Break free from the chains that they adore. Stand tall, unrigging the game, we rise. We'll win reality from their lies. Unrig the game, unleash the fury. No longer slaves to their corrupt machinery. Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Unrig the Game. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're all doing and living well. And welcome to the show. We start, as always, by thanking those awesome people out there in the Winner Circle who make it happen on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for being part of the solution. And a special thanks to Shelley Wolfram and Ronnie Jam for hold on a second, I got a distraction, right? For supporting us over on Rumble. We are broadcasting live on Rumble and YouTube and maybe X. I don't know. Let me double check because I'm getting a blinking light saying we're not for some reason. I don't see that we are. So I don't know what's going on. Go live. Okay. It's having problems on X tonight. I don't know what that means. If I Ukrainian cyber attack on X, eh? So maybe we're not broadcasting live tonight on X. But anyways, don't worry, guys. Rumble is there for us, and that's where we do most of our show tonight. So by the way, and I need to say this up front before I go welcome my crowd in. If you're tuning in tonight because you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you're like, I want to hear about this book by Pete Hegseth called War on Warriors. What's this show Unrig the Game about? I want to direct you right now to the description. And in the description, you will find a playlist and a link over to Rumble. If you've never used Rumble before, this will be your first time, but definitely follow those links over for the full show. What we do here on YouTube is I do like a 1 hour kickoff show. And then after an hour, we start the reading portion of it. So if you want to just read the book, you're going to end up there anyways. So you might as well go ahead and click it now. Make sure that you follow the channel and ring the bell over there and hit a thumbs up. And then that's where we'll be doing all the reading. And that's where a lot of the show takes place. We have to do that because I use Audible and YouTube does not like Audible. And that's the whole thing. But I don't want to leave YouTube out and I want new people to find the show. So that's why I do the kickoff show. So if you want to hang out in the kickoff show, what we do is we cover things that pertain to the topic, the book, the author, things like that, and some news of the day. If something big pops up, we'll talk about that. So anyways, and this is where I work out all my kinks for the show too, like why the color keeps changing. So yeah, that's how we do it. And if you're new, thank you for being here. Leave a like on this video. And before you go over to the Rumble side and watch the reading, this book is awesome, by the way. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're not that far behind. There is a playlist where you can get caught up. That's also in the description. So you can utilize that to catch up on the previous chapters. And like I said, just like go about an hour in and that's when the reading starts. So you can skip the preview, the kickoff show. That's for the live audience. And there's a lot of people here in the live audience right now that I got to say hi to. But before I do, I just want to thank you for clicking into the video, and I hope that you will continue the journey over to Rumble to listen to the book because it really is worth it. And like I said, on the kickoff show, we're going to cover topics that have to do with the author or the topic of the book, and so we're covering a lot of the Defense Department stuff, Pete Hegseth stuff, and anything that has to do with national defense. That's basically what we're going to be using our time for before the show. And then I do some bonus content after we're done, after we finish the chapters. Tonight is chapter 5. It's a 1-hour chapter. It's a long chapter. So we usually read for about an hour. That's what about it equals to. So we do 2 chapters, usually 30 minutes a piece, 3 chapters, 20 minutes a piece. So it just works out like that. And we will, we have a long chapter tonight. Tonight's, oh yeah, let me change this. Tonight's topic is we are reading chapter 5, The Deadly Obsession with Women Warriors. And so this is probably what has been known as, I don't know, the big controversial chapter of the book. I don't know. According to the establishment, useful idiot politicians, corrupt individuals that were trying to defame Pete Hegseth during his cabinet confirmation hearings. He got the job, so suck it. But subject cope and see as you do. So this book has been awesome. He's got a lot going on. So in terms of his knowledge, his experience, and his depth of understanding of the true nature of our reality. So I highly encourage you to participate with us. All right, guys, let me get out to the chat. Oh, it's so interesting with X offline. Let me see. Okay, so they're probably cut off everything tonight. So I won't anticipate being on X tonight. But we do have a crowd here in the house. All right. Let me say hello to you guys. Thank you for being here. Heidi, thank you for so much for holding down the Rumble side. She's a mod over there, and she'll be modding it out on the Rumble side for us, as well as here on the YouTube side. But also, let me say hello to MJ. MJ, how are you doing? How you doing, MJ? Good to see you. Thank you for showing up and being part of the chat so much these days. We appreciate having you here, and I hope you're really enjoying it. Love it when new people join up and become regulars. So thank you, MJ. Wolfram, my friend, there you are. Looking for you, dude. Thank you for dropping these links. Remember, guys, when you are here, to always listen to the wolf. He knows what he is talking about. All right, he wipes his paws, he loops in, and he howls. And that's how you know the Apple mod is in the house. All right, and we got Scott Hotvick. Scott Hotvick, how you doing? Hail to Scott. How you doing, Scott? Good to see you. Okay, there is Shelly talking trash and truths, our hostess with the mostest, giving out big hugs as you walk in the door. And there she is. She's on both platforms tonight. I would say all 3, but just both of them. Yeah, and that goes for anybody watching on BitChute. If you happen to rewatch the show on BitChute, make sure you check the description for those links. It should be there for you. All right. Yep. There's this. There's the news. Cyber attack on X today. Jealous people, broken people, toxic people, grifters. All these people, they can't stand for anything to go right because then they don't benefit. Because things have to go wrong for them to benefit. They're wired differently. And so when chaos and mayhem, they thrive. When people are happy, healthy, and secure, they fail. And so they can't stand anything that has to do with that going on. And that's where all the hate comes from. That's where all their mental illness shines through. So yeah, cyber attack today on X. And don't worry, probably the wrong people to cyber attack. I'm sure they'll get a hold of it and reverse the damage. No time flat. If you think that attacking Elon and doing stuff to Elon is going to get you anywhere, you're sadly mistaken. So let's see who else we got here. Ding, 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 ding. It's out of my VIPs in the front row tonight. I know it's a Monday and it's at a weird time. It was strange trying to start the show when it was still light outside. I was like, this doesn't seem right. I need it to be dark. It's supposed to be dark when I start the show. So I don't know. Should I switch to summer hours? Should I start a little bit later? Start all the shows later? Considering it. Why don't you guys give me your feedback in the chat? How do you guys feel about moving everything to 8 or something? I don't know. It depends. Does it make it feel like it's more like on time? 7:30 seems so early today. And I know people are spending more time outside, so maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. We have to figure it out. I can't remember if I did that last year or not. I don't think I did. Um, but I mean, I've still been trying to figure out the right time slots. I think I like the way it's running right now. Oh, I don't understand why some nights it's perfect and some nights it's not. Maybe I just gotta stay back here. Stay back here a little bit. Maybe that's better. All right. I won't be so up on the camera. Maybe that'll help. The problem with my setup, guys, and you can see I got the glasses. Yeah, it's part of the mystique of this channel, right? But also I got these really nice big screens, and I got a desk, and I got a room, but I don't have a studio. I got a room, and I put the barrier up around me, and I go to town, right? But I got these really nice monitors, and they have like HDR color. They're really nice. They're nice for all the other things I do in life. Work, watching videos, watching movies, with family and stuff like that. That's the thing that's great. But when I go to do the show, it's like they're right on top of me. And so the lighting is always a challenge. So, hey Andy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. What's going on, Andy? Um, so it's always a challenge, right? So I'm still trying to figure out how to get it right and what to do. And then one day I'll have a studio, right? And then I'll set it up the lighting and have it all be way back from the screens. I guess I'll have a little screen this. I don't know. I don't know how other people do it, man. Um, but I'm still trying to figure it out. But that's the gist of the temperamental lighting situation here is that, as my mouse goes over things and my screen changes from this to that and so on, I get different flashes of light. So it's part of the charm of the channel, isn't it? Don't you love seeing it? I love seeing it. Yeah. In case you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. Um, but yeah, I figured tonight we would look at there's some stuff that has to do with like national like defense and stuff, things like that. Why do I keep clicking back to this? Oh, I was clicking into the wrong thing here. All right, let me move it at least over to the other playlist. A couple of things I want to keep in mind that I don't have time to do on other shows is like deep state money trail. That's one thing I wanted to cover. I haven't had time to cover, so we'll probably do it here in a second. Educational purposes, make sure we know where the money's going, how they're rigging the game. See, it's all about unrigging the game. So we have to understand how they rig the game. That's the point of the show. And that's what we do here every week. And we've done it with great books like Big Intel by J. Michael Waller, Control Oligarchs by Seamus Bruner. We're on our sixth book. We just finished up Government Gangsters by Kash Patel, which is awesome. And let me make sure I get this playlist right. I don't know why I keep going back to this one. I keep putting things on my old playlist. I need to put it on the new playlist. There we go. All right. And sort it correctly. Okay. Now everything's in order. And I also want to take a look at some of the things we can kind of like project, some of the things we can look at as far as what may be coming, like what to be prepared for, how to prepare for things that may be on the horizon. Hey, how's it going, Lefty? Good to see you. We're just chilling, man. We're just chilling, walking it in slowly this evening on this new daylight savings time Monday. Daylight savings time. It's a 50-50 issue. I can see it. Until we change the school schedules, I think it's going to stay that way. So maybe if we really want to change daylight savings time, we got to change the school schedules. I don't know. We may never change it. Might just be the way it is. It's a compromise thing at this point. But I want to take a look at national issues, global issues in terms of defense, wars, things of that nature for this book, right? So that's what we'll do. And also that includes always keeping an eye on the deep state and the mechanisms that are rigging the game so we can unrig those mechanisms. We can cheer on the unrigging of these mechanisms like what Doge is doing right now, the excellent work going on there. And that's why they cyber attack, X, right? Because they don't like the fact that Elon is doing the right thing, doing a good job, and is taking money out of the hands of some very bad people. He shouldn't have it in the first place. They're stealing it from us, right? So they don't like it, so they're gonna try to hurt them. They're gonna send crazy wind up toys into Tesla dealerships to do to do terrible things and think they're doing something. I mean, they're idiots. They're only gonna go to jail and hurt themselves. But that's how useful idiots work, right? They're wind up toys for the corrupt establishment and the cultural Marxists and they just wind them up and they set them off and they go in there and they do something stupid and they screw the rest of their lives up. And Elon causes his insurance company or his franchises do, and they get the thing replaced. And that's the way it goes. And they don't seem to get that. And that's because they have mental illness. And the mental illness is the thing that drives them. Oh God. All right. Does it help if I do this? Man, I'm about to just get rid of this damn thing. I don't know if it's the problem though. Maybe I should just turn it off. Then my stars go away. Looks okay right now. And I always say I'm gonna work this out, but it always changes. So what am I supposed to do? What's going on? I think they're just jealous. I know they are. I know they are. They are jealous because we are winning and they aren't. That's why they're jealous. Always. Losers hate winning. That's the truth. And in all walks, losers hate winning. But what are you gonna do about that? We just got to keep on winning. That's all. They get a bunch of losers. They can make us turn this into losers, are they? No, they already tried that. They've been doing that our whole lives. No, that game is over with. And now, if we can get a winning country back, if we can hang on to it, it'll be a great thing. See, it's the hanging on part that I like to get ahead of the things on, right? And what I do, this show, the things I talk about in terms of long-term solutioning to a generational attack, generational warfare, that's real stuff. And but it's a small little teeny fraction, little teeny tiny part of the whole big universe. Nobody else talks about it really. And that just makes me special. It makes me lonely. I'd rather just be in the mix with about 1 million other people talking about it, honestly. That would make things so much better. Rather than just being a little niche out in the outer rim of the universe, forecasting what is inevitably gonna either come true or be taken action on. But that's why I hope to talk to people that are, one day down the road, some point maybe, talk to people that actually could, take that idea and flourish it better than I can. Just the root catalyst here, that's what it's meant to be. That's what it's meant to be. I accept it for whatever it is, and we'll ride along with together on the way to that. How's everybody doing? You're looking and putting away groceries. Okay, they're just jealous. Chaos brings distraction. Catalyst useful. Catalyze. Yeah, well, that's why I always talk about the shotgun effect, right? And that is that when you subvert and demoralize entire generations, right? And you keep hammering them with triggers, constantly boxed into that establishment fear narrative, and it is a fear narrative, right? Constantly, if you watch it, everything's fear. That's the grifter's tool, is fear. The grifter always uses fear, right? And because it's effective, right? It's a psychological warfare. It's what it is. And so at some point, the one in the right chemical mix, the right time and place, the right everything will snap. We've seen that over and over again. People used to think it was, some kind of staged event or some kinds of crisis act or some bullshit like that. It's been totally made up on 4chan to troll people with, and then it becomes people start buying into it because they don't have anything else to grasp onto, and they just don't trust anything they see anymore. So then they start to believe things that are unbelievable. But but now we see that, like, through people like the J13 people, they sat Trump assassins and school shooters and things like that. These are people that just break. They break under the pressure of the propaganda, the subversion, the demoralization, all of that stuff that breaks them. And then you add in the chemicals, and then you add in a bunch of other broken people on top of that, pushing them in different directions, pulling them down. They don't know what it's at. It takes a long time to get sophisticated in these things that are going on. And a lot of people don't make it that far. A lot of people don't have the reach, they don't have the experience, they don't have the luck. Like you guys falling into a group of people who understand the way the game has been rigged, right? Well, yeah, see, they don't want us to get ahead, so well, no, that's part of the cycle of abuse. It's a cycle of abuse. It's priming people for mediocrity, to conform, to bow down, to stay boxed in their narratives, to be gluttonous, to be demoralized. This demoralization is what you're saying. They don't want us to get ahead, and at the highest level, that's an idea. But the demoralize, it's like crabs in a bucket, right? They keep pulling everybody down. Everybody pulls everybody down, right? They're broken, so they want you to be broken. They're unhappy, so they want you to be unhappy. It's a ongoing self-replicating problem. That's the generational warfare we talk about. That's demoralization. That's ideological subversion rooted out in cultural Marxism, right? And that's the idea, is to break a society from inside. So you have the cycle, generational cycles that happen. So they're always breaking and subverting the youngest generation, because then they grow up already broken. Some go to crime. Some become part of the criminal justice system, that institutionalized prison system, right? And so they become criminals for life, always creating more chaos and inflicting harm upon others, right? Causing the need for more laws, more whatever's, more justifications for authoritarianism, and whatever it may take. But what it does is it takes a person with all the potential in the world and limits them, right? And then you have people that are corruptible, even more demoralized, that are willing to take on the roles of doing things like running things like USAID and other corrupt institutions, to go out there to stuff ballots, to help people cheat, to become the viable, effective, useful idiots of corruption, right? So that's why that whole they thing, right? Who, you can say they all day long. You don't ever know who you're talking about. That then you're just living in fear, right? There's a they under there, under every rock. We got to identify what's at the root, and then remove the enablement for those institutions, those ideas, and those individuals who perpetrate it, right? Like right now, the biggest open conspiracy out there is Agenda 2030. We all know it. And we all know what they're trying to do, and we all know how they've been going about doing it, because they make no secrets about it. But they do make a lot of deals, and they do a lot of dirty things behind the scenes. And they wear a virtuous, altruistic front, right? The real conspiracy is what they plan to do with the power, right? And that's where it lies. But they're telling you what they're going to do. And part of that is getting DEI and other critical theory spinoffs that break people. And again, we know here that critical theory is just a spinoff of cultural Marxism, and it's been used over and over again throughout time, throughout modern history, and it's led to things like World War I, World War II, and it's constantly prompting nations to crumble that are sovereign. So they been dragging you down your whole life, right? Different generations get a different dose of it. And what that they is this grand idea. The they came from many different spots at many different times, but the idea behind it is the cultural Marxism. And that is what breaks societies. That's the formula. People think that Marxism is some great economic philosophy. It was some kind of highly intellectual achievement, right? No, it was a banker grift, basically to put a front on how they're going to destroy sovereign nations and rule over them, right? And then people buy into it, thinking that they're going to get some kind of utopia out of it. Well, the utopia is for the elitist, not for you. You get dystopia, they get utopia. That's what it is. And then you get to the point where people get so paranoid they think everybody's in on it, and they can't trust anybody. So they never know when the good guys are making a move to end this stuff. Now, the idea here is that we make the move, we end the stuff, and then we keep it ended by not letting it repeat. And in order to do that, you have to understand the bigger part of the game. That's what I want to, reach people with bigger reach, to have conversations. But I don't have to have them online. I'd rather just talk to them. But just get their takes on things. What they think about social culture, what they think about putting in preventative measures on a generational basis so that we don't keep repeating this, going around circles. Like if we free our country from all this corruption and all these bad actors and this deep state, we're pushing to do it, right? There's no guarantee that it won't come back in a few generations. That's the idea of like back when, as in J. Michael Waller's book, Big Intel, right? When he was talking about why did our intelligence agencies go from fighting Marxist, communist, Leninist ideas to suddenly proliferating them, right? Becoming the tools of subversion instead of fighting against it. Is like the people aged out. And what happened was the people that were coming up that they had to choose from had been through critical theory and other indoctrinations from the universities they were choosing from. So they came in again already corrupted and ready to do the dirty work. And that's how things got turned into, oh, it's just a Red Scare. Oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. Poo-pooed away, history rewritten. And then we have this cycle of abuse continues and it strengthens as it goes. That's the thing that we have to prevent. We have to learn from the past mistakes and not let it repeat. And look what they're doing to kids in school, right? We all know how bad that's gotten from the time a Gen Xer was in school, just being kind of corrupted and demoralized in certain ways. Now it's all the way to body mutilation and identity crisis, right? Before I go any further, let me go ahead and do this. Past, what's up, Past? How you been? Thank you for becoming a member, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and being part of the solution. In fact, I'm going to add your name to the scroll right now. And welcome. How have you been? See, save, and boom. There's thank you. We're scrolling across the bottom. And let's see. We also got Buddy Dog 13. What's up? How you doing? Thank you for being here. And you're over on Rumble. All right, we're going to be over there with you in just a little bit to do the reading tonight. So thank you for being here. I hope if you're reading the book with us, man, I hope you enjoy it. You just reminded me I need to put that in my chat over here. So thank you for that. I guess that's all we're doing. We're not going to be on X tonight because of the cyber attack, which kind of got us into this line of talk. All right, there we go. Oops. No, I don't want to put it in this one. Well, I guess I can. There's the full stream links. And then I go over here and lock it down, pin it up, pin it. All right, there we go. Hey, all right. So thank you. Good to see you. We'll be over there with you. There's already people over there with you right now, but we're going to bring the whole crowd over there in a little bit. Just about 30 minutes. We'll be over there and kicking off the reading for this evening. Big old chapter 5, man. And I'll tell you what, if you're military, past military, current military family, you love this. You're going to love this book. You really are. And I got a playlist to help you catch up right in the description. Vinyl, I heard you talking from the other room. You have my vote for later streams, kind of a night owl, but that's just me. Night owl. I'm a night owl too, but I do like to get done in time to spend a little time here at home doing things with the fam before it's bedtime for them. So, and myself. So yeah, I think if I do move it, it'll be like by a half an hour. Just start at 8. Just getting a little darker right now. It's still kind of weird, but we'll get used to it. It'll be nothing before too long, right? The main thing is to learn from history. Yeah, and that's what I think the problem, MJ, is we haven't done that a lot. We haven't learned from history, or if we haven't learned fast enough from history, like literally the stuff I'm going by is from history. It's watching patterns repeat, and then understanding what the root cause issues are, and then creating root cause solutions that remove the enablement of those bad ideas, those bad actors, those bad systems. And that's the only way that you're going to keep it from repeating. And then you have to arm the future. That's the key thing. We don't arm the future. We need to take more care in arming the future in this, especially in this information age, right? With the truth about information and how it works, and also straight out good old fashioned hardcore logic, right? that keep us from falling for false premises and logical fallacies. And if you understand the anatomy of any grift, any psyop, whatever you want to call it, right, that's out there, right, they all rely on these things. They all rely on a lack of understanding of logic to indoctrinate people into their false belief systems. And they know, psychologically speaking, once you get a false belief system all nice and locked in there, it's really it becomes very difficult to unlock that and to free somebody from a false belief system, whether it be an establishment false belief system or a conspiracy group false belief system. The way the mind works is it goes into a defense mechanism. It goes into denial. It goes into anger, and then a lot of times that's where that conversation ends, because that's when your fight or flight response will kick in, right? When you feel like your belief system is being threatened. So a confident, open-minded person, right, can navigate those waters and get through them, right? And then can assess new information and make new choices, and form new belief systems, and leave old ones behind. That's the sign of intelligence. But unfortunately, when you don't understand that how logic works, or that you're being played, you don't see the fallacies. You don't see a lot of them. They people just tend to, in this fast-paced, information-based world, they just tend to accept them really fast, or they say, well, my bias leads me to believe this because of this, right? And understanding you have to start at zero with everything. It's just a way to keep yourself safe, keep your mind free, and be able to move with the flow of information. Because we all start off under a big cloud of not knowing what's going on. And then we learn as we learn, but we learn from people. We think that we're getting everything that we're getting. We see the world certain ways. We mature, we see it differently. We mature more, we see it differently. We get more information, we see it differently. It's a changing thing, right? But a lot of people never escape that first veil, that establishment narrative, and they still turn on CNN and they believe they're being told the truth. They turn on MSNBC and believe that they have their best interest in mind. They listen to Democrats and believe they're the good guy team. They've never gotten out of that mentality, and there's plenty of systems there to keep them in place, to keep them boxed in to a narrative, right? And that's that's one way the game is rigged. So if people have the kids, especially, have the ability to see what a logical fallacy is and a false premise is at an early age, they'll be able to resist a lot of it. Well, that report didn't set right with me, right? It almost operates on like a subconscious mental antivirus software that's running at all times. And that's one thing that really frees a lot of people up from establishment narrative and grifts alike, right? Once you understand you need to start from those places, you can you'll challenge your beliefs with confidence, right? And you'll challenge your biases with confidence. You'll realize that you can readdress everything confidently, and that to be humble is to be free. That is true. That is true. All right. Yeah. So we got to learn that from history, man. Thank you for that. Okay, got you there. Got you there. Put that up. Hey, Levy, how you doing? Good to see you, dude. Welcome to the show. And welcome, Vinyl, as well. Good to see you. Vinyl Pilled from Wisconsin. Good to have you around. Good to have you around. I have to ask myself, who would benefit from hacking X? Well, it's not hacking it. It's disrupting. It's disruption. They were attacking it to bog down the servers. Well, no one benefits. It's just destruction, right? No, it doesn't actually set off. It's vandalism. So who benefits from someone spray painting a Tesla Cybertruck, or hammering or scraping it with a key or whatever people are doing these days to be idiots and get thrown in jail? There is none. It's just vandalism. It's a visual temptation. This is a digital temper tantrum, is what you're saying. It's a digital temper tantrum. Hello, T-Rex Trucking and Apples. Good to see you tonight. The more is apples, more for our T-Rex Trucking. And there is Cynthia Fireberry. I see you right there. How you doing? My tablet has a spelling impediment. Nice. Yeah, I don't like it when it corrects my spelling. That's what I meant to say. And then sometimes I'm like, oh God, I caught that. On and on we go. Yeah, see, someone either has a grudge or is trying to put some blame on someone else. I don't, or just disrupt it, right? Like, okay, so you disrupt X. The monetization aspect of it, people lose money, I guess, when it adds. So I don't know. I don't know how they reset there. I imagine it's pretty massive though. What else? Oh, we can't broadcast live tonight on there. Okay. I mean, honestly, with X, I had a channel suspended at 1,800 followers. It was growing. It was getting there. In fact, I had Seamus Bruner follow me on there. That's probably the person I'm most disappointed about not following me anymore. One of the authors of the very first book we read, Control Oligarchs, highly recommended that book. If you want to understand the big global mess, the global actors, the elitist, that behind the Great Reset and other things, WEF, Agenda 2030, the UN, all these people, they're in that book. You get the history of it, gets you the ramp up, and understands how they originally came together and did all this stuff. So there's your big secret Illuminati meeting right there. If you believe that's what's going on behind some closed door, they're actually out in front of you. They're right there. That's who they are. And they don't go by that name. That's the Hollywood. That's a Hollywood cult now. It's just a name that's been co-opted. I've done different streams on this stuff, so that way you don't have to be all scared that there's some lizard people worshiping in a pyramid somewhere, plotting to suck energy out of you. Oh, David Icke. Anyways, yeah. So disrupting the flow, the base of people there are generally outside the establishment, cause them some distress, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't do anything. It's just a digital temper tantrum is all it is. And really it's that's all you got. When you're losing that bad, this is all you can do. It's not effective. It's not effective at all. In fact, if anything, you just taught X how to stop whatever you're doing. Because they're going to take that, they're going to silo it, they're going to analyze it, they're going to throw grok at it, they're going to look at how it got done, they'll probably trace it back to who got done. And now that Elon has friends in high places, hey Cash, it's Elon, how you doing? Hey Pam, it's Elon, how you doing? Hey Tulsi, it's Elon, how you doing? And now that he has friends in high places, I wouldn't fuck with the guy. I mean, you should not do anything, that you don't want, sleepless nights over doing. I don't care how hidden you think you are, how cool you think you are, how crafty you think you are. You're fucking with craftier people. I should say you're screwing with craftier people, or more skilled people than you, I should say. You may be crafty, but inevitably they have more resources and skill than you. So go ahead. To get yourself thrown in jail, screw up your life, get a felony, and do stupid things, win stupid prizes. There you go. All right. Let's get on down here in the chat. People get lazy, want a free ride, and don't care about the future. Just what you can do for me now. Yep. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's been the problem, hasn't it? It's like we don't keep telling the story of history. We don't keep telling people that once the third generation comes around, right? The first generation busts its ass, makes something of itself. The second generation benefits from it, and third generation squanders it. But we don't keep telling that story. We don't keep telling it to our kids. We don't keep telling them that, this is why we have to keep fighting. We don't put systems in place that account for this. So yeah, this is a root cause issue here. There can be a root cause solution in that, and I believe that is solution culture, or some form of it, some offshoot of it, something that the idea of a solution culture or preventative measure culture, whatever you want to call it, whatever it becomes, right? It's in its infant stages. It's a new thing. It's something that hasn't been tried before. The words of our founders. What have you given us? I've given you a constitutional republic. If you can hang on to it, right? If we can hang on to it, well, I'll put both hands on it. They don't explain how to hang on to it. That's the problem, right? We fight and we go through hell, and people, we have this cycle, but we don't understand how to stop the cycle or to hang on to things the right way. That's the problem. And that's the thing we're dealing with, because the other side knows how to screw things up generationally. We're easy when it comes to that, man. Especially if you're at the top and you got control over information and language, makes it so much easier. You got control over resources and money, so much easier. Right now, you got all the time in the world to sit there and think up nasty little devious things to do. But I tell you what, right now, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Let's do a little bit of content here. We're having great conversations today. There's Snipe Hunter. What's up, Snipe Hunter? Already over on Rumble, ready to rock over there. Let's see. Scott says the leftists have been attacking Elon on all fronts. They couldn't get away, and the deep state needs some kind of win, regardless. And that's petty. Yeah, they are petty. They are petty, and they are small. They are petty and small. Socialism has never worked. No brain people can be sold about anything. Yeah, it's never worked. Yet they still think it's going to work, right? How does it? Talk about mind control. Mind control is real. No, it's going to work this time, because I'm going to sit out here dressed like an idiot and repeat the same thing over and over again. That'll work. Yes. And because I'm broken, I'm going to break other people, right? That's the idea. That's the demoralization of these young socialists that are out there, these queer Marxists marching in lockstep, completely shoving their lives into a toilet and flushing it over and over again. That's them. They're completely, they've thrown their lives away at in the middle of their youth. They can be anything. They can do anything. They have luck. They have beauty. They have strength. They have all these things, and they flush it down the toilet over nothing, and they can't even see the fact they're doing it. That's mind control. That's how it works. You don't need acid. You don't need torture. You don't need some stupid CIA plan that never came out and never produced a damn thing, except for a few cults here and there that aren't effective to this day. You just need information. You just need to understand human psychology, right? You need control over certain things, and when you get that, you can brainwash an entire nation. And we've lived through it. We're just Gen Xers. We have lived through it. We have lived through it. And we know it now. Here in our latter years, our wiser years, we can look back and show you. Right? But you're gonna be able to tell that to some young, dumb, know everything, fresh out of indoctrination young person. I don't know. They have to find out the hard way that felonies don't fall off your record when you do dumb things. Right? That stuck with you forever. And now your quality of life has been diminished by your own actions. And you did it. That's what it's going to be, man. And that's sad. We don't want that. That's abuse. They were literally abused into destroying their own life. That, and say, well, I don't feel sorry for them. They're adults. They can do whatever they want to do, right? Well, yeah, but you know what? The sad part of it is they were born into a system that currently exists that made them do it. So in some way, we can take responsibility for that by destroying that system. We can help account for that. We can prevent future generations from destroying their lives wearing checkerboard scarves around and doing stupid things for stupid prizes, right? We can make a difference that protects our children, their children, our families, our lineages, and thereby our country and our neighbors and our community and our friends all together. That's the point. That's the point. At this beautiful time in history, we have a chance to really undo a lot of bad stuff. We need to take this opportunity to take the next step. So we'll try it. How far am I willing to go to get it done? Well, I guess we'll see. Probably a good amount. If I can get in touch with the right person and get the idea flowing with someone who could actually put it to good use and give it a critical look and shine it up or whatever, probably be worth it, wouldn't it? I mean, I get out here 5-6 nights a week, right? And I try to be here and be available to talk to people and to go over these ideas, to bring content, to keep us up to date, always framed in that framing of the root cause issue, root cause analysis type framing, making sure that education is passed on. And also The idea of helping people understand how the mind works, how mind control works, and information-based mind control works, so that they can go talk about it with other people. Like, you guys become the messengers. You guys become the purveyors of this information. I can only do so much. And, and as it looks right now, I'm in my, I don't know what year am I in? Just time flies and streamer life. When did I start doing live streams? Let's go find out. Look, I'm going to find out. Oh yeah, it's our anniversary. That's me. Let me go over here and find out. Let's find out. I tell you what, while I find out, I want to show something to you. I want to show something to you, just for you. See, yes, I pass it on to several people because it's so damn funny. What is that? Hold on. I know that ain't me, right? Something. Remember to listen to the Wolf guys. Blind belief comes from high levels of fear. Yeah. That's a good point. So people always want what they can't have, like being the other sex for starters. They seem to be afraid they might be missing out. Deal with it. FOMO, psychological condition amplified by an attention-based society, right? Makes people do dumb things. So like I'm saying here, I'm 11. Okay, cool. I want to show you this. Let's talk about deep state money. I'm going to talk about how the worst amongst us have all the time and money to put together concoct these plans and concoct these systems, and how the most naive amongst us have no idea what's going on. These people like trying to attack Elon, to attack Doge, to stop progress from the people who are trying to undo the corruption, right? They know not what they do. Could never in a million years explain this to you, but you'll be able to explain this to them should you ever get the chance and care to do so. Check this out. Deep state money trail on winning speed, right? Further education about how the money laundering system has worked and who the big players are. And so when these names come up in congressional hearings, you will be awake, aware, and resisting, like things like the Tides Corporation. Nobody can really explain it unless you've heard about it and learned about it, right? And when people be like, no, they're just trying to send aid to other countries. That's all they're doing, right? It'd be like, oh yeah, have you ever heard of the Tides Foundation? Maybe we want to look into them. Here's some things that they do. Here's the way the money laws. You can step by step explain it to them on a level they can understand it. And you might just break their mind control. You might just free somebody. And I tell you what, I have freed people in my life from this mind control, from this system. And it's a good feeling. Do I have like 100% record? Hell no. In fact, I've got, it's far and few between, but the ones I have freed, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. The ones there's people out there that I'd love to be able to free, and I never will be able to. They're just too far gone. They got too much enablement, too much resistance, too much bias, too much fear. And like you said, who was it, Scott or MJ? I think it was Scott. Yeah. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the mind killer. People always want what they can't have. And FOMO is fear of missing out. You guys back to back making great points, guys. Making great points. I thought I saw the airliner's stewardess sense of humor of the captain brought to things on a whole new level. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's awesome. All right, here we go. Check this out. Learn from this. I'm going to find out when I started doing live here.
Somebody I really admire, but maybe don't agree with on everything, Ann Applebaum, wrote an article in The Atlantic a few days ago. There's a term for what Trump and Musk are doing, how regime change happens in America. Now, I found it interesting because I agree with her that this is regime change, but I believe she's saying the quiet part out loud now. The deep state, the administrative state, whatever you want to call it, is the state to many people in this country. It is what we just discovered it. It's not the elected government by the people, it's the bureaucracy. That is who so many people in this country revere as the ultimate power brokers. It's why they're out on the streets protesting circumcision in millions of dollars for circumcision in places in Africa. What are we doing?
Makes no sense.
Because it's much deeper than this. This is the same ideology that progressives have adhered to for over 100 years. Woodrow Wilson, FDR, they hated the fact that the Constitution stood in their way. So they grew and empowered the bureaucracy, the administrators, to go around it. This is how NGOs can take your money and operate with the same authority as the CIA, but not have to deal with these pesky little things like oversight. And it has gotten to a point to where the money that is being spread around is grotesque. And the things that they're spreading around to do in your name is also grotesque. They can work with leftists like Soros in Macedonia to seek regime change. That happened. Then copy that again in Albania, again with Soros. That happened. Then turn around and fund sterilization projects in South America, circumcisions, like I said, in Africa. But how does this happen? Well, there is a new tool. In fact, several of them out. One that we're talking about now is Data Republican. They're giving us an inside look at some things that we've never had before, and concentrating on USAID is simply not enough. The deep state is much, much bigger and deeper than them. And the Uniparty has been building this system for a very long time. I want to refer to you back to a couple of articles you need to read. I highlighted these in a show last year after the Palestinian activists started tearing up college campuses all over the country. The entire operation looked just like the color revolutions that we know Soros was involved in and the deep state was involved in other countries. And I said at the time, I think we're funding our own revolution. Go back and watch that show. This Washington Post article talks about how organizations funded by our government, like the National Endowment for Democracy, were operating like quasi-CIA. Now, this is a story that we found written in the early 90s. The other is this article from The Guardian in the early 2000s after the Ukrainian Orange Revolution, found by one of our great researchers. Both articles, along with the funding information that we already knew, helped paint the picture of how the deep state runs a parallel foreign policy. We explained this in an earlier show. It's all done in our names through NGOs with our tax dollars. And I made a similar chalkboard last year trying to explain, but I was missing this piece. You can follow the money for a distance. You get Congress to allocate a whole bunch blindly, usually through these organizations, an insane allotment to government agencies. Let's just take two of them, the USAID and Department of State. Those are trusted government institutions, right? State Department, USAID. Most people have never heard of USAID unless you watch this program. Massive amounts of dollars every single year. Let me show you a graph. The USAID money that was doled out to foreign recipients in 2023 alone. $4.17 billion. Now, here's where the trail gets harder to follow, and I'm absolutely positive by design. The money is then moved from state and USAID to other trusted organizations like the National Endowment for Democracy. Now, one of these secondary agencies that are really, you don't know, somehow or another, the money gets from here down to places like Soros, Open Society, any progressive street activists, media outlets, Hillary Civil Society 2.0. We knew that dollars were coming in from the government, but we didn't know how.
Right.
We also knew between these people, and these people, regime change, the Arab Spring or color revolutions were always the end of it. Well, now we know how your tax dollars spread a globalist progressive agenda, regardless on who's president.
We did it. They made us do it. We're questioning it's these millionaires, these elitist globalists, billionaires pumping all this money in. They're pumping all this money in, man. We got to stop them. They're pumping our money in. They're pumping our money in the whole time. How's that sit in the old belief system, right? Time to make an adjustment, right? To understand how the game is rigged, how it was rigged. How can we unrig the game? If we stop these systems, is it going to unrig the game, or are we just taking a step that's managing a symptom and then we're just going to go right around it? That's why we have to understand how these things work, because we'll never develop a true and effective root cause solution if we don't understand all the ways that the problem can then repurpose itself or enable itself, right? You know, just taking people like this out of the picture, the idea is still there. However, if we can block this system down in such a way that they can't do this anymore, right? And now what we do right now, we're starting to correct the mistake by stopping the funding. So boom, stop the funding right there. Does that mean it's going to go away forever? No, I don't believe so. That doesn't make any sense. They'll just find a new way to do it, but we know this is the system they want. Kind of like the false left right paradigm, political paradigm we were all born into, where you had establishment people on both sides, right? You had establishment left, establishment right. You had the neocons posing as Republicans, right? Playing the heels, so everybody would hate the Republicans for generations to come, right? And then you had the laid back, do whatever you want, Democrats, who were both sides were furthering the agenda, taking one side and the other. We do the geopolitical stuff, you do the social economic stuff, and we don't get in each other's way. That was a neocon Democrat establishment, right? That was the false left right paradigm. Same with this, right? We know they want to get back to that. That's why we can never, ever, ever, ever give up the GOP again to anybody. It has to be held on to. Otherwise, the illusion of choice will return. Right now, we do have a choice. People have to choose between Americanism and something else, right? And those who want to maintain their sovereignty, prosperity, and live in a better world are choosing Americanism, because we're the free country with the Constitution and the inalienable Bill of Rights, right? You won't find anywhere else in the world. And that's what's made us the greatest country on earth in history, right? And that's not, we're lucky, and more people should want to have that, and they should be able to have it. But what stops them, right? Their systems, right? However, we know that they want to get back to that false left right paradigm so they can destroy and corrupt the country. And what they were doing is they were absorbing the resources, absorbing the wealth, right? They're causing division and strife, keep us distracted and at each other's throat, destroying us from the inside, demoralizing us from the inside, ruining future generations from the inside, right? And eventually would have handed us over to a larger global agenda. And then we would have had the illusion of freedom. The illusion of freedom on the backs of the illusion of choice. But we broke that. Ron Paul stood up and said, this is what's going on. He woke up generations. He activated so many of us to get into this fight and realize that we had to fight every day to win our reality back from those who were stealing it and turning it into a dystopic nightmare, right? And that's the truth of it all. But and then from the backs of that revolution came MAGA, right? Where we kicked the door down and we took the GOP, and the neocons went running out of there like a bunch of rats on a sinking ship. But we repaired that ship and we turned it into a battleship. That's what it is right now. So on that level, we know that they love to have that back. They would love to have it back. It's our job to outlast the neocons and make sure they can never, no rogue group, no pretend Republicans could ever take that party again and just be working hand in hand with the Democrats. This whole idea of bipartisanship is ridiculous in those terms. Now this is the same thing. Now we're going to undo a lot of this, right? But there's still going to be some people and some foundations and some things out there that are going to attempt to reform this or reimagine it or whatever you want to call it, one of their gay terms, right? And turn it into another way to get us to pay for our own demise. So really, at the core of this is them, these billionaires. Well, they see Soros, Open Society, all these things down here he has at the bottom that are literally taking our money. You see at the top here, right? Funneling it down to them, and then funneling it back into activities that destroy us. Isn't that great? Ain't that neat? Right? But that's it. Yeah, and there you go. ActBlue is another one. Ironically, ActBlue is dying and struggling now. Laying off staff has raised billions for campaigns. Oh yeah, smurfing. They smurfed the hell out of some people, didn't they? If rot can't be removed, it will continue to spoil the whole thing, right? That's why we can't just deal with symptom management. We have to go to root cause solutions. Symptom management, oh well, we'll do this and that's that, right? That's weak thinking, and it never. You imagine trying to okay, we got a symptom. We have 4 databases, and we got people coming in to utilize our web server, and this one database keeps filling up and crashing everything, right? It keeps filling up. So instead of fix the root cause issue, which may be a log file that is on not on overwrite mode, right? So it keeps filling up, and we're like, we ran out of memory. Oh shit, the whole thing just went down. Right? We pushed it over to another copy of itself, and the same thing happens here. We push it over to another copy of itself. We're still managing the symptoms. The system's staying up with every now and then it lags out. It degradates. It lags out, and then it crashes. Right? But then we push it over to another one. We're not really solving the root cause issue of that one file that needs to be reconfigured. Right? We're not really solving it. But we've created a solution that allows the system to continue, and it does it again. That's what I'm talking about. With root cause solution would be reconfigure the file so the database doesn't fill up and we don't crash. Right? That's just me making an analogy, of course. But yeah, you got to vote, but people always fall for the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Right? Well, that's a lack of education, and they don't realize how good things are going, displaced, and just to think they want something different. Yeah. There's a lot behind that, MJ. It's not just one thing. I can think of 3 different personalities that I know, people that I know in my life that have different reasons for being all of these things. Right? One's just live in party lifestyle, never grew up kind of mentality. Right? Always boxed into an altered state of consciousness kind of thinking, running for social clout, but still doing well at the same time. Happy-go-lucky, same idea, but different in a sense that the system's always worked for them, so nothing can possibly be wrong with it. And anytime it even looks like it's hurting somebody else, you just forget that you knew that and just move on to a straw man. So a lot of, again, logical fallacies play a big role in why things are the way they are in this world. That's why I'm always pounding the table about getting the younger generation educated, well educated, not just one course, one time, and one thing about these things. I'm talking about yearly courses of logic. Gamify it, make it fun to learn, make it culturally, socially, what's the word I'm looking for? The culturally, like rejected by society, right? Make the use of logical fallacies, so like having freaking AIDS or something. I don't know, like having a disease that nobody wants, right? I don't know how to say it right now, but what I'm trying to say is that we need to make it so that nobody wants to use them, and that anybody who does is immediately looked at like a suspect, right? Until they learn how to, but maybe it's a mistake. But if they're actually trying to really sell you on false logic, look at them like a crook, right? Because they probably are, in one way or another. The world economics, they use our economic system to continue to harvest money from us to reshape America and the world. Yep, that's pretty much it. Yep. So like I said, you think that these guys are sitting there spending their own money on this? No, they're wealthy. They're spending your money on you destroying yourself. And that's the thing, right? That's the thing. And that's how you can tell the good guys from the bad guys too. That they don't want that to happen. So if they're trying to undo this, at least stop it in its tracks. It's a good way to tell it's a good guy there, right? Another is they spend their money on their stuff. They're not, they're not taking other people's money to get it done. Like I'm talking about like campaigns or whatnot, but they to be influenced by people. In the past, the neocons and the Democrats are all owned by the lobbyists. It's all lobbyist money. It's all lobbyist money. That's kind of true, kind of not true. But they definitely had their money and their special interests being accounted for in these ways, right? However, just taking away that lobbyist money wouldn't have changed the thing. As we can see now, they're literally using our own money. It ain't just the lobbyist money. It's literally our own money, our own tax money that's supposed to be going places. This is why I think taxes are a thing of the past, man. Federal income tax needs to go immediately, just be destroyed. Goodbye, rip it up, gone. Because you'll never be able to repay us for all the damage you've done and all the way you've misused funds for decades. Not happening. All right, let's finish this up because I'm going to ramble.
But knowing just this isn't enough. We have to fill in this blank.
So
who do you audit? The CIA, the State Department, USAID? Well, yes. But if you stop there, the deep state lives on. We have to go deeper. So let's start with a smear against Christopher Rufo. This is extraordinarily important because some people are going to be smeared. His organization is very, very clear. He gets 0 tax dollars, and the only reason why it pops up on charts on this software is due to the splatter of money that is shot out all over the place. The further to the left you go on the money trail, several organizations begin to stand up. So he's on this chart. American Studio is his, but he gets 0 tax dollars. But he happens to get money from Fidelity and Schwab and Bessemer. Now, are they getting tax dollars? No, which means that maybe somebody at World Vision and Notre Dame has made a donation here, and it went here, but not tax dollars. Okay. The names that keep popping up, the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, CEPS, where is that? Right here.
Steps.
Okay. They get $165 million of your tax money. Have you ever heard of them? How about East West Management Institute? Because they're getting $25 million every year. The National Endowment for Democracy and their affiliates like NDI, right here, 167, 362 million. Then you have Freedom House, which is right here, another $93 million. And oddly enough, we noticed that the Tides Foundation, our old friends, show up on the chart, clearly showing the Tides Foundation is receiving U.S. tax dollars. Now, back in the old days at Fox, I showed you the entire purpose of Tides is to be a progressive left-wing dark money machine. It's money laundering, legal, but money laundering nonetheless. You cannot trace money. Once it goes in, it goes dark. You can see what's coming out, but you don't know who's giving it. Leftist billionaires, organizations, all donate to Tides specifically so their money can go dark. So why is the Tides Foundation getting tax dollars? Well, maybe this is a one-off. Let's do a money trail search on Tides and see what pops up. Are they involved in anything else? The Tide Center. Oh, holy cow. Now, this is, again, we're going to find deeper levels here soon. But this is showing the entire money trail for Tides. On the chalkboard, again, I have a few notable ones. Oh, Freedom House, NED, CEPS, East West, Intranews. Wow, they show up again. So they're spreading tax dollars to each other, and then they spit out to places like Soros. Now, let me go to something local, something here in the United States. A couple of weeks ago, I told you about one of the largest NGOs that is involved with migrants coming into our country. It's Global Refuge. It's a cute little NGO that received $221 million of your money. Let's look at their flow chart. Their budget included $221 million of your money. Take a guess who shows up on the chart. Oh my gosh.
Soros.
Internews, CEPS, East West, NED, Tides Foundation. CEPS labels themselves as an organization that supports electoral processes and civil society.
Right.
What's happening here? This is about the border.
Yeah.
Annually, they handle about $500 million of your tax money, and it mostly comes from USAID. The Internews Network helps USAID meddle with independent media and press all over the globe. If you ever wonder why media all over the Western world says exactly the same things, it's because it's government approved and paid for. According to USAID, quote, in 2023, the agency funded training and support for 6,200 journalists, assisted 707 non-state news outlets, and supported 279 media sector civil society organizations. Wow, that doesn't sound like it's in our best interest. What are they promoting? In Ukraine, USAID was the main funder for 9 out of 10 Ukrainian outlets that receive international funding. Wow. The circulatory system of the entire deep state is now materializing. Auditing USAID is not enough. We cannot stop here. We now have some other players. We have CEPS that we know is involved. We have East West that we know is the next layer. We have the Tides Foundation. That one just pisses me off beyond belief. We have NED, which is up there as well, NDI as well, and Freedom House. So we know that these guys get the money. Government agencies goes here, then it goes to this level. And I think we're going to find another level. This is money laundering. The reason why you have money pass through so many hands is to enrich and launder. That's it.
That's right. And that's it. we'll look at some other stuff later on, right? But yeah, that is it, dude. That is it. And I think that the one thing Glenn Beck does really well, and my opinion has changed vastly of him over time, but is really chart these things out and really go into the globalist aspect of things. So we need to be aware of like the money laundering things, things like that. Very important, key stuff. We can slow it. Yeah, it has great breakdowns. We can slow it down. We also have to like put a cork in it to stop it, right? It just, but that's what we're working on here. And we'll continue to talk about this topic and other topics like it on the kickoff show here on Unrig the Game. All right, then, like I said, this is the kickoff show, but it's coming to an end here, and we're going to be going to our reading portion of the show very shortly. I know I've gone on over an hour, but I figured it was a good topic. We had some great discussions going on in the chat, and I thank each and every one of you for being here for the kickoff show. And also for everybody who joins us for the reading portion of it over on Rumble tonight, exclusively on Rumble. One thing I wanted to say before I take off is, as I was saying earlier, I have been, I guess, this seems like longer. Why does this seem long? Oh, it's 25. Okay. But since July of 2022 is when I did my first live stream, and it was about as bad as you can imagine. No, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I went for 2.5 hours. I mean, almost 3 hours. But tends to be my number. But yeah, that's how long I've been doing live streaming, since July 2022. Then August, September, and on and on. And what's today? It is now. We are now in March of 25. So coming up on 3 years, and in 3 years, it's been quite a ride. In 3 years, I have almost 3 years. I've gotten to almost 4,800 subscribers. That is from showing up and doing. Tell me in a nice concise number how many exact pieces of work I've done here. Or how do I look that up? I don't even know. That's about how much I'd pay attention to it, right? But showing up week after week after week. I used to do videos, and I started doing lives. So I was actually making videos long before I was making lives. But showing up week after week after week after week. The bulk of my early subscriptions and views came from one video that went viral. It was Mike Tyson and an Alex Jones interview. It just hit off the press. They weren't letting either one of it go on YouTube from their channels, like Mike Tyson for business reasons and Alex Jones because he wasn't on there. But the interview itself was allowed. So I got a hold of it early. I put it out there, and I've never had a video or I had anything look like that ever in my analytics ever. It was amazing watching that ride happen. It went up, it went up, it went up. And then one day they just cut it out of the algorithm and whoop, down it went. And then from there on out, I've worked to try to do something. Like a lot of those people I've never even saw or met, or never came back. I don't know. But I've never taken any shortcuts ever in my time. Right. I've never kissed anybody's ass. I've never compromised my principles, my morals, and I've never and I've done, I've learned a lot. I've made some mistakes along the way, but one thing I've never done is take shortcuts or try to compromise the mission of the channel. What that was, right? And whether that's popular or not, whether it gets reach or not. I've had some times where it's like, man, I didn't think I was gonna reach anybody. I have 488 videos. Okay. 488. Hey, in bravado, what's up? I figure I would show up over here. Oh, nice. Final build. Nice. Cool. Nice to meet you over there on the Rumble side. Thank you. Don't worry. We're coming over there shortly. I'm just going to wrap this up here. In my whole, this is, and it's what I do is I do media analysis. I give my takes on stuff like a lot of creators do. I give my takes on stuff that's usually political, has to do with the mission stuff, beating the corrupt establishment. stopping the globalist establishment from enacting and completing their agenda for world domination, right? That things like that, things that are going to affect each and every one of us in the long term, short term, long term, whatever. Never, and it's a struggle. It can be a struggle. You can feel people and out here, creators, other creators. Some of them can, make you feel very isolated. Some of them can try to destroy you. And some of them can be decent people, and some can even be good friends. But for the most part, it's just been, me riding this ride on my own with good friends like Shelly and T-Rex, people that have been around for a long time, since the beginning, close to the beginning of what I've been doing, right? And I like to say that tomorrow, Shelly is doing a show at 12:30 p.m. and she's been struggling to get to 1,000 subscribers for a long time. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever why a person like her, who's helped so many people, and many people in this chat, a lot of people will come out and say, a lot of people will say that she's helped them. How she isn't just blowing past my channel, how she's not blowing past a lot of channels. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense why a lot of us don't get out there more, right? It ain't the fact that we started in the law too, but that we knew a bunch of assholes a long time ago. That shit's stupid, right? It doesn't mean, it's not because there's a little clique of people out there that are trying to suppress us. Doesn't mean shit, right? There's more than that. It's just that our channels are kind of designed to help people, and they have a cause, right? And they're not compromised, and they're not compromising what they're supposed to be. And for some reason, that has just not hit yet. And maybe it doesn't hit. Maybe it's not the way this is meant to be. Maybe we're supposed to be on here pretending and screwing people over and doing whatever it takes to make those numbers happen. It's just not the drive that people like us have. It's our drive is to make a difference in people's lives. And that, I think, I remember a time when I was doing that in real life, and people just couldn't understand it. They always thought there was something up with that, something up with it. Like there's something, he has to be up to something. No, I'm literally just trying to give you my roadmap. I'm literally just trying to give you my ends, my network, my everything to help you live out your dream, help you do it. I got other things, right? This is something I do on the side, and this is something I do to help other people. But people don't really seem to understand that. And it's like they almost, like, the cycle of abuse that's been is so wild that they almost want to be abused. Like they need it. They need to be ignored. They need to be talked down to. They need to be reminded that they're not, that there's something wrong with them or what. And it's just, there's some people out there that love it and they know how to do it because they're part of it. And there's some people out there that just can't do it. They want to help. And, does that mean that we wallow in our slow growth channels? Probably, maybe that's just the way it is. But we find good people along the way. And if you're here and you find us, and you're part of us and you hang out with us, then we appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know Shelly does. T-Rex, who's trying to get his channel going, does, and other people. It means a lot that you're part of it, because it is very niche. And we're not very status quo mainstream streamer people, right? We're not going to blow smoke up your ass. We're not going to, blow smoke up other creators' asses. We're not going to game the system and lie to you and deceive you. It's just like you can feel safe in places like our channels. Zach, what's up? How you doing? I know. Well, I'm going to gang up on you too. All right. How about that? That way you won't feel outnumbered. You'll feel outnumbered even more. But yeah, we know you enjoy the content, Zach. You don't have to put up a front. We know you enjoy the content. All right, but speaking of enjoying content, I've gone on for an hour and 20 minutes on this kickoff show, and there are people ready to read this book. Now I got to get to read the dang book, right, Zach? That's right. I got to get to reading the book. I'd love to go on this topic forever because as creators, we think about this shit all the time. But guys, if you could help small creators like us out beat the system by bringing people here, by letting them know what's up, saying, you know what, you can go to a lot of channels and go to a lot of places, but you know, these are different ones. You're going to see the difference here. When people are really, really, really out to help you than out to get you. Wouldn't you rather be with people who pray for you than pray on you? Right? Well, you're at a pray for you channel. And it is what it is. And it'll go for as long as it can maintain itself. And that's what it is. And you know, we just keep showing up, we keep believing, just like we all want to make a better world. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's just a splash and pan. You never know. But let's go read. What do you guys say? It's nothing but I'm babbling on and on about shit that, as people in the chat, a lot of this stuff is just like creator stuff, right? Let's go have some fun. Let's go read. And it's time to do just that. So, guys, pinned in the chat and in the description is the link to Rumble, where we will be exclusively tonight. You want to click that link to come follow us to read Chapter 5 of The War and Warriors by Pete Hegseth. And I don't even have the banner rolling. There it is. Pete Hegseth, The Deadly Obsession with Women Warriors. And I won't wait too long to get started. We'll be starting by at least in at least 9 or 8 minutes, all right? Or less. All right, guys, I will see you over there. Thank you so much for being here for the kickoff show. I appreciate you hanging around, listening, clicking thumbs up. Remember when you get to over to Rumble to say hello in the chat, click thumbs up, let me know you're here. We're counting on you, Rumble. We're coming, Rumble. Okay, YouTube, we're getting out of here. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, YouTube, later.
Man, everyone's tensed up for a Rumble.